My name is Nathan Hayes, and my older brother, Michael Hayes, has always been my rocky U.S. Air Force officer whose courage I've idolized since we were kids. Deployed to a classified location, likely Afghanistan, Michael left me with a weighty responsibility. Before boarding his transport, he pressed his house keys into my palm, his voice firm but warm. "Look after my place like it's yours, Nathan. You're the only one I trust." I swore I'd keep his home safe, a promise that felt sacred. But one quiet Saturday morning, that promise was shattered in a way I never saw coming. I was at my desk, sipping black coffee, scrolling through emails, when my phone buzzed, slicing through the calm. The caller ID read Sarah Mitchell, Michael's next-door neighbor. Sarah wasn't one for casual chats. Her calls meant trouble. "Hey, Sarah," I answered, keeping it light. "Everything okay?" Her voice was taut, almost trembling. "Nathan, you need to get here now. There are people moving into Michael's house." My stomach dropped, coffee forgotten. "What? Michael's overseas. What are you talking about?" "There's a moving truck," she rushed, words tripping over each other. "Furniture, a realtor with a clipboard, a sold sign on the lawn. They're saying it was an HOA auction, Nathan. They're ripping down his curtains." Disbelief pinned me to my chair. "That's impossible," I muttered, my voice thick. "His house isn't for sale." Sarah's voice dropped. "I heard the realtor mention an HOA lien. You need to see this." My heart pounded, fury rising. "Stay there, Sarah. I'm coming." Grabbing my keys, I bolted out the door, still in my hoodie and jeans, tires screeching as I tore toward Michael's neighborhood. My mind raced. Michael was out there, facing dangers I couldn't imagine, trusting me to protect his sanctuary. An HOA auction? For what? I'd paid every mortgage bill, every utility, on time. The idea of his home, his refuge, being stolen was unthinkable. 20 minutes later, I turned onto Michael's street, and my breath caught. A moving truck loomed in the driveway, strangers unloading boxes, laughing like they owned the place. A bright red "sold" sticker mocked me from the lawn sign. I parked crookedly and stormed toward the porch, anger tightening my jaw. A couple in their early 30s stood there, chatting with a slick realtor in a blazer. They didn't notice me at first, too caught up in their Pinterest perfect moment. "Excuse me," I snapped, my voice cutting through their laughter. "What the hell are you doing in my brother's house?" They turned, startled. The man, tall and smug, offered a confused smile. "Hi, can we help you?" His partner, in yoga pants and oversized sunglasses, looked annoyed at the interruption. "Yeah," I said, struggling to keep my voice even. "This is Michael Hayes' house. He's deployed with the Air Force. So why is there a sold sign on his lawn?" The realtor stepped forward, clutching her clipboard. "Sir, we purchased this property legally through an HOA foreclosure auction 3 weeks ago. It's all documented." I stared, a bitter taste in my mouth. "Foreclosure? That's nonsense. I've paid every mortgage. There were no notices." The man shifted uncomfortably. "Look, we don't know about mortgages. We bought it through the HOA's auction. Got a steal $12,000. 12,000. I repeated, the number punching me in the gut. Michael's home was worth $300,000. The woman adjusted her sunglasses. "Yeah, it was listed as a lien sale. We thought someone just skipped their HOA fees. Sorry if that's news to you." My hands clenched, fury boiling. "This is my brother's home. You can't just move in." The realtor's tone turned patronizing. "I understand you're upset, sir, but we followed HOA procedures. Take it up with them." "Oh, I will," I growled, spinning toward my car. My thoughts churned. Michael had entrusted me with everything. How had this slipped through? Within 30 minutes, I was in the HOA's sterile office, the air heavy with bureaucracy. After a tense wait, a wiry man in a polo shirt approached, his smile as fake as his tan. "Mr. Hayes, I'm Victor Lang, HOA Compliance Director. How can I help?" I ignored his outstretched hand. "You sold my brother's house, Victor. Michael Hayes, deployed overseas. I've handled his mortgage, his bills, everything. How does an HOA auction off a home without proper notice?" Victor shrugged, pulling a file from a cabinet. "We sent multiple notices," he said coolly, sliding the folder toward me. "Violations, grass too long, chipped mailbox, unpaid dues. Standard procedure." I scanned the papers, my blood heating. Fines for $125 over grass length, $75 for a mailbox scratch, $700 total. You auctioned a $300,000 home for $700 in fines. Victor's nonchalance was infuriating. Legal fees raised the total, but yes, it's within our bylaws. You never called me, I snapped. I'm his emergency contact. You mailed letters to an empty house, knowing he's serving overseas. That's not just wrong, it's vile. Victor's eyes flickered, a crack in his facade. We have no obligation to chase absentee owners. It's their responsibility. He's not absentee, I shouted, trembling. He's deployed, risking his life, and you knew that, didn't you? Victor looked away briefly, then recovered. Military status doesn't exempt homeowners. Consult a lawyer, Mr. Hayes. This conversation's over. I stormed out, rage fueling my resolve. This wasn't a mistake, it was theft, cloaked in red tape. I'd get Michael's home back, no matter what. Desperate, I drove to the office of Peter Walsh, a lawyer with a solid reputation. His modest office felt like my last hope. I poured out the story, my voice raw. Peter listened, his face darkening, but when I finished, he sighed. Nathan, this is unjust, no question. But legally, the HOA likely followed procedure, however shady. Fighting them could cost a fortune and drag on for years with little chance of winning. My heart sank. So they steal his home for $700, and we do nothing? He's defending their freedom to pull this crap. Peter's sympathy was genuine, but his words were grim. Court battles against HOAs rarely end well. They're designed to wear you down. I left feeling crushed, the weight of failure suffocating. Friends and family urged me to let it go. My mom's voice haunted me. Nathan, don't destroy yourself over this. Michael wouldn't want that. But that night, alone, staring at a photo of Michael and me on his porch, his words echoed. You're the only one I trust. Michael never quit, not in combat, not ever. I couldn't either. Resolve replaced despair. I'd fight, no matter the cost. That night, I dove into research, my laptop's glow my only companion. I scoured HOA bylaws, foreclosure laws, and horror stories of homeowners crushed by similar scams. The system was rigged, preying on the absent or unaware. Michael's case wasn't unique, was part of a pattern. Days blurred as I built a case, sticky notes, and highlighted laws covering my walls. Then, late one evening, an email arrived. Subject, urgent HOA insider info. It was from Emily Carter, an investigative journalist. I followed your brother's case, she wrote. I have evidence of HOA corruption. Meet me tomorrow at the cafe on Elm Street. Bring a USB drive. Skeptical but desperate, I agreed. At the crowded cafe, Emily waved me to a corner booth. Nathan Hayes, she asked, shaking my hand. Sit. I have a source inside the HOA, an anonymous whistleblower. They've given me documents, recordings, emails. This isn't a mistake. They're targeting deployed soldiers' homes. My jaw dropped. They knew Michael was overseas? Explicitly, she said, sliding her laptop toward me. A recording played casual voices, deployed owners, empty houses, easy targets for quick auctions. My fists clenched, rage and disgust swirling. This is criminal, I whispered. Emily nodded. It changes everything, Nathan. They can't hide behind procedure now. She handed me a folder of emails and transcripts, plus a USB with the recording. You can win this, she said, her eyes fierce. But it'll take guts. Are you in? I nodded, strength surging. All in. Thank you, Emily. Leaving the cafe, I felt lighter, purpose sharp. I wasn't alone anymore. Emily's evidence was a game changer, but danger followed. Silent calls came at midnight, escalating to hissed threats. Drop it, Nathan, or else. Sleep vanished, anxiety gnawing. Then, one morning, I found my car vandalized, tires slashed, windshield cracked, a note under the wiper, last warning. Fear gripped me, but Michael's courage steadied me. He'd taught me bravery meant standing firm, scared or not. I contacted Richard Bennett, an attorney famed for crushing corrupt HOAs. His voice over the phone was a lifeline. Nathan, I've heard about Michael's case. Bring everything to my office tomorrow. We're fighting this. Richard's office was lined with articles of his victories. You've been threatened, he said, noting my story. They're scared. Show me what you've got. I spread out Emily's documents and played the recording. Richard's jaw tightened. This is dynamite. They violated the Service Members Civil Relief Act, among other laws. We'll sue for wrongful foreclosure, misconduct, distress the works. It'll get ugly, but I'm with you. His resolve was contagious. Will it escalate? I asked. Probably, he admitted. But you're not alone, Nathan. I left, fear lingering but overshadowed by determination. Days later, Emily's article exploded online, igniting fury. News outlet CNN, NB ran Michael's story, his uniform beside photos of strangers in his home. Protesters swarmed the HOA office, signs reading justice for Michael and protect our troops. Petitions soared with signatures. Victor hit TV, claiming the HOA was by the book, but Richard kept me grounded. They're panicking. The evidence is ironclad. Then Michael called via satellite, his voice crackling. Nathan, I saw the news. They sold my house. Guilt choked me. I'm sorry, Mike. I tried. Stop, he cut in. I called to thank you. You're fighting when I can't. I'm proud, man. Relief hit hard, tears stinging. We'll get it back, Mike. I swear. I know, he said, fading. I'm coming home soon. Stay strong. His return loomed, raising the stakes. The trial was a circus media vans, crowds, tension thick. Richard laid out the case, presenting Emily's evidence. Emails, memos, the recording of the HOA plotting against soldiers. Gasps filled the room. Then Richard called Mark Thompson, an HOA board member. Nervous, Mark testified, Victor targeted deployed owners, knowing they couldn't fight back. I objected but feared retaliation. Victor paled, his lawyer scrambling. Mark confirmed the HOA broke federal protections. Richard's closing was fierce. This isn't a clerical error, it's predation on those serving our nation. Michael Hayes deserves justice, for himself and every soldier betrayed. The HOA's lawyer leaned on procedure, but the judge wasn't swayed. The foreclosure is null and void, she ruled. The property is restored to Michael Hayes. Cheers erupted, relief crashing over me. Richard grinned. Justice won, Nathan. 2 weeks later, Michael came home. On his driveway, he paused, eyes tracing the house. His fingers brushed the mailbox we'd painted years ago. Nathan, he said, voice tight. You fought for me when I couldn't. Thank you isn't enough. You do the same, I choked out. He pulled me into a hug, the kind we hadn't shared since we were kids. I thought this house was my anchor, he said. But it's you, Nathan. Tears fell as I whispered. Welcome home, Mike. Letters poured in from military families, their own HOA nightmares echoing ours. Richard, Michael, Emily, and I founded the Sentinel Shield Foundation, a nonprofit to protect service members from housing abuses. Michael spoke at events, his uniform a symbol of resilience. Know your rights, he told soldiers. You're not alone. One evening, watching families leave an event with hope, Michael asked, tired of our story yet? I smiled. Never. It reminds people justice is worth fighting for. My phone buzzed. Another soldier, facing eviction over HOA fines, begging for help. Michael nodded. Another one? Yeah, I said, resolve firm. Let's get to work.